everyone. I'm Esther. I'm Juji.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Elijah.
And we're here to tell you what day it is.
To remind you what day it is.
We're here to remind you what day it is. To tell you what day it is.
To tell you and remind you what day it is.
Sunday, but to you it's Wednesday. Maybe.
And Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
It is Mother's Day. The day of mothers.
Well, technically this will be days after, but that's okay.
So, random fact about me. I like ginger-flavored things.
Are you sipping ginger tea right now?
No, this is chai.
Oh.
But I like ginger so much that I would eat it from the root.
Claudia
the root itself.
made some really good soup the other day. It was like ginger carrot puree soup, and it was so good.
I've done something similar before.
So
that sounds really good, though.
All right, so our first segment of today is new this week, or like news in general. So who wants to start?
I think Alex has some fairly big news.
Oh.
Oh.
So, I got engaged this last Monday.
OMG.
Wow. Wedding bells.
But you all already know that.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh my gosh, Alex.
Wait,
I
imagine
can't
if
believe you never told me.
Imagine if
Honestly,
you saved
anybody-
it for the podcast.
Wait, what?
Imagine if you saved it for the podcast, like you didn't tell us before the podcast.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, guys, I just have like a casual new this week. Like, yeah.
Yes, it's whatever. It's what? No. No, there's no way we would have been able to hold the information that long.
How
It
does
wasn't even like it was like an hour afterwards that we were like, well, I guess we got to post to Facebook now. Got to make it actually official. Got to change that status on a Facebook.
How does it feel to be a fiance?
How does it feel? No different. I was talking to somebody else last night, actually, at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, we got married a couple years ago, and we dated for like 7 years or something like that before we actually got married. And she was like, yeah, and I don't know, it was weird because everyone's like, oh, you're going to get married, it's a bit different. But it's like, it's not different. It's no different. I mean, obviously the marriage thing is another step, another part of it. The fiance thing, it's funny to be like, you have this label on it now, for sure. That's different. But yeah, I think the fiance thing is really just sort of a change in how other people see your relationship. They see it as, okay, now you guys are more serious, for sure, right? But inside the relationship, the cogs, the parts that make it move, in inner parts don't really change. So it's pretty much the same.
Parts don't change.
It's all the same.
Right.
Which, I mean, honestly, that's the way you want it anyhow. Because if your relationship starts changing once you get married, then it wasn't quite stable enough in the first place to make that decision.
Good point. And you know what I think about sometimes? I think about how some people say, like, oh, everything will change, like, when you get married. I think the reason why people say that is for people who are in bad relationships and are hoping that it'll change. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no, this isn't really that great, but maybe once we get married, things will get better.
It's just going to get worse.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think
So
it's for people
I think
who,
that's a
like,
good
get
sign.
married right after they meet each other. Like, I think it's for people who get married right after they meet each other, and they like don't know what it's like to live with each other, or like anything like that.
No, the people even who've lived together, have a kid together, and plan on getting married and have been together for a while still sometimes suffer from that delusion of, oh, things will kind of be different and better. Like, they don't directly say that, and they'll even actually say just the opposite. Like, no, I don't actually think that. But everything in their behavior, all their complaints about their partner, and all the things that they are concerned about, and all the times that they're like, oh, well,
give
there's
us
so
an
much better this.
example.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, yeah, well, when he's happy, he's so great, but he's always so, like, depressed and unhappy and kind of miserable, and he just doesn't help me out with anything. And I'm like, that's not going to change once you guys get married. Like, if those are issues, deal with them now.
Yeah.
And address them now. And if you can fix them now, awesome. But if you can't, you're not magically going to be able to fix them later on after you have a piece of paper.
So speaking of engagements, Alex isn't the first like sibling to be engaged.
No.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Like,
no,
well,
he's
unless you could have
not.
saved that for his fun fact about him.
Well, we've already addressed
Although
that
that's
on the
a very
podcast
fun
a few
fact.
times. No, that's a
Well-
fact from the past.
He was a boy,
Flashback.
19.
No, I
Just
wasn't.
saying. Yeah, you were 19.
No, when I got engaged.
Yeah, you were.
You're like 17 or something.
No.
18?
No, because I broke it off just before my 21st birthday,
Okay, so you.
and I wasn't engaged for a full year yet.
Oh, okay, so you were like 20. Hey, can we get real for a moment
No,
here?
you were 19 because I told some kids at school, and when I was in middle school, and I told some kids at school, and this girl comes up to me and she's like, "He's making the worst decision of his life."
A little girl said
Yeah.
this in middle
Yes,
school.
a girl from my
Well,
class.
given Esther that you mix up Alex and I all the time, no wonder why you probably got my age wrong.
Somehow this little girl knew more about Elisha's relationship than Elisha did. What? All right, no, but let's get real for a second, though.
Okay.
I have a question for
Yep.
you. With like the whole proposal thing, I remember there being a lot of stress on you in general. I know obviously you're younger, so all that. But then you had to ask her dad and everything, and I know that was cringy. But like the actual act of asking her, did something feel wrong about the whole thing, or was it like is it like a hindsight thing now? Like, were you caught up in the moment, or was it like, ooh, as you were doing it, did it not feel right? Like, that's what I'm just curious.
As doing it, it didn't feel off. It was just the decision in general. I was kind of back and forth. My mind was kind of foggy around that time. I was very stressed with like a lot of different things.
Well, like school.
And my job at the time, and that was my first real relationship, my first long-term relationship. And when you've only had one, you have no point of reference, and so it's hard to say, is this real, is this not real, by comparing it to something else if you really don't have much to compare it to. I didn't have any other girlfriends before that. I think I technically had a girlfriend. I did air quotes, but you can't see air quotes. But I technically had a girlfriend that I realized a couple weeks ago. Before the one that ended up becoming a fiance. I totally had forgotten about it because we dated for a week. But yeah, otherwise I didn't really have other relationships to kind of compare it to. So the feelings, the mixed feelings, the doubts, the things that were telling my gut that this wasn't the right decision, I didn't even know how to read those feelings because I had nothing to kind of put them against. But in the actual act of proposing, I don't remember there being like specific like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Just a lot of the lead up and then afterwards.
All right, so moving on from marriages. Anyone else got anything to say? You don't have to.
I saw William Shatner last night with Megan, which was a ton of fun. They showed Rathacon 2, and then he spoke afterwards, and the dude's like 87, I think. And he's ridiculously active. He's more active than I am at that age. And his memory's slipping a little bit, but like not much worse than my own, to be honest. He still could recall names of people with a little help from some of the audience who are super fans, of people that he worked with or interacted with like years and years and years ago. But the whole thing was totally worth it. Because that ended up being a lot of fun. He had a lot of really funny stories and little anecdotes. And he tended to tell stories the way I typically do, where he starts off telling one story. He tells 3 or 4 others in the middle, and then comes back around and completes the original one. So
I would be so frustrated listening to that.
poor Megan.
It's like, What about the other one? The other thing that he was trying to say?
Oh, I actually did that to the owner of Carabiners the other day.
Oh, you did?
He's
The older guy, right?
Yeah, he asked me, oh gosh, he asked me something about how long I've been climbing, and then I went into this whole story about how I got into climbing.
I'm cringing right now.
Yeah, I got into climbing because of my cousin, and my brother, and he's like, I forget what he exactly said, but he said something along the lines of, "Oh wow, that's a lot of extra information," or something like that.
Oh, God.
I'm like, yeah, whoops. What can you do?
That's so awkward.
Yeah. No, I realized that one after the fact.
Was it busy that day?
No.
And he was just like,
Yeah, no, he's
trying
just,
to be. He's just like, he comes in, he's like, hey.
yeah, no, he's like super enthusiastic about climbing.
How's
He
it
starts like,
going?
oh, you could try to do this and that. I'm like, I need to get some exercise. That's all I'm here for. I'm never gonna be doing 10s or anything.
Mhm.
I'm happy doing my V0s and occasional V2s.
Claudia knew exactly that, like, he was the owner, like, from the moment she saw him. Like, he was kind of busy the time we went,
Mhm.
and she saw him, and she was like, that's the owner, isn't he? And I was like, yeah. You could just tell. He just kind of, like, waltzes in. And he's
Yeah,
just like,
owner
"Hey."
vibes.
He's like, he's like, oh, I'm going to talk to everybody, say hi to everyone. Like, he's like the president or something. Kissing babies and shaking hands and stuff.
You mean shaking babies and kissing hands?
Yeah, shaking babies and kissing hands.
So, girls, what about you? What have you been up to?
Nothing. What you did?
Blank.
Not much.
Oh man, every time Claudia's like, "What's everyone up to? Like what are people doing?" And they're like, I say something about what you've done because I always know.
Okay,
I
well,
always remember
people-
your stories.
People
you guys
ask me
never
that
say
at work all the
anything.
time. They're like, "What are Alex and Claudia up to?" I'm like, "They're literally the same thing that they always do." They're like,
They do
in
the
the
opposite, the
mountains.
other way around.
I'm like, yeah. People ask me all the time. I'm like, well, they're in the mountains. There's not really much to do, so like they're doing the same thing.
Well, that's not true. We do stuff all the time.
Cool.
Cool. You just don't remember, do you?
Mm-mm.
Because last week you were like, "Oh, like I don't know, coffee or something." Like that's what you.
That's actually your go-to response.
I
like,
had nothing to say
coffee.
when Claudia's like, "What's Esther up to?" I'm like, "I have no clue." And then Claudia just thinks it's because I'm like brain dead and I can't remember anything. And I'm like, "No, I swear they didn't say anything."
Did you
Like,
like hang out with some friends or something?
I did. I hung out with a friend I haven't seen since like December.
Well, there you go.
That's something.
Yeah. And
So
I
you
don't
did a
know.
little like photo shoot with her.
We did. We went to the cable car. They worked at the cable car.
oh,
Or they
and
still
they're
work there.
closing, right? soon?
Yeah, it's closing. Sadness.
Have you been there more than like once now?
I've been there like a handful of times. Yeah, but I got to see a free movie and like free popcorn, which is really cool.
Spiffy.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
It was a documentary on Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Who's that?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I think. She
This
was
is
a
Supreme Court
Yeah,
Justice.
Supreme Court Justice. And she's real old. And it was like a hilarious. It was a really well done documentary.
Hmm.
It was sad too, but it was like well done. So that's what I did. Gigi, what did you do?
I played ukulele for Susie and John.
Oh, you did that. What day was that?
Monday.
Oh, last Monday.
Yeah. Mom and I went over and bought some food.
Yeah. Cool.
It was fun.
Because
Gigi
now you
doesn't-
guys don't have school, so you're just kind of.
Gigi's been hanging out with her friends now. She has a friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys been playing D&D?
We haven't actually played in like a few weeks.
Oh, that's a bummer.
'Cause we've been doing other things.
So
Finals and stuff.
at the school that I'm working at, one of the classes is D&D.
There's a D&D class.
Yep, takes up 2 periods for them, and they actually play D&D.
What?
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
fair.
Is that so cool?
What?
Yeah, I know.
First of all, what kind of school
You should
is
come
it?
and teach here.
Is
Teach
there
there.
schooling
I,
involved?
No, there's like no
I
school.
should-
This is like the worst promotion in the world. No, it's a good school. It's a good school, but they're really lax on the kids and stuff because it's like a home away from home kind of. I mean, but where they also learn. It's like the learning is sort of second to the relationship building. So that's why like D&D is like good for some of the students because they're already into like nerdy stuff like that. Some of them are,
Yeah.
And so it's like a good chance for them to build like social skills and things like that. And because some of them, they need work on that stuff. So it's still learning in a sense. They're learning social skills, but through D&D, which is kind of cool. So.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, social skills are one of those important things that, like, at bare minimum, you kind of need when leaving high school.
Mm.
You kind of need them in college too. How come we don't have any of those classes in college?
I'm gonna take a Dungeons and Dragons class at college.
You
A
wouldn't?
Dunkins and Drazens
No,
and
I said I
Drazens.
want to take, but I don't.
They don't have
Drops
any-
into
I don't
But I'm
really
like
have any cool
already-
classes.
You could also just form your own group and have someone DM it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
The
you don't-
teacher
you don't need a
DMs.
class for it.
I've sat in
Well,
on some
yeah,
sessions.
I'm sure there's Dungeons and Dragons clubs and things.
I want credit. So yeah, there needs to be a class. Cause I need to fill out these
I need
credits
credits.
to graduate. I'm done with my major. I'm done with my minor. I don't even
Wait,
like my minor.
So would you take a Dungeons and Dragons class?
if
Dungeons.
it was the only
Dungeons.
creative
Dunstons,
class out there,
Checksons.
which it would probably be, then perhaps. If it was like Dungeons and
We
Dragons
can't say
for
it.
beginners, then
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I've never played it before. There's I don't know. I'm looking for a 1 credit class and I can't find anything that's actually interesting.
A 1 credit class? Is that even possible at Rick?
There's
Yeah.
there's the one.
There's
The-
like
credit.
Zumba, bowling, swimming.
Bowling
like,
is
greater
2.
than that. No, bowling is 1.
What?
What is wrong with
They-
your school? You have a bowling class and a
Yeah.
Zumba class.
Yeah. It's all part of like the phys ed. Like
They had bowling when
program.
I was there too, but
Yeah. Should I take it?
Do bowling.
they knocked a
Where do we
point off
bowl?
of
I
bowling.
had to take Calc 3 and differential equations and
For
heat
1
transfer.
credit?
No, not for 1 credit,
Oh,
but
this is
like
a 1 credit class.
but still, like those are classes I had to take, and you guys are taking bowling and
I just took a
I'm
class
not
And
called
basket
and
Shape-
weaving
bubblegum
and-
chewing,
yeah,
I literally just took a
breathing
class-
101.
hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
Hop-
Okay, so
Hopscotch.
your English major didn't have a lot
Breathing
of
101.
requirements to fill.
No, I had like no requirements.
Because I have a lot of classes I have to take for it. For an
Yeah,
art
I don't
major.
understand how they decide stuff like that. They're like, oh, I guess they'll just like have assign like 20 credits to this major and like 1,200 to this one.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
pretty
like
much how Rick
that's
figures it out.
exactly. Like Rick has good teachers. They have terrible program structures. Like the structures of most of their programs are just like dartboard style. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're good. Yep.
Mm.
Well, they're probably
You're a writer
controlled-
now.
They're probably controlled by like the department head, but they probably just get to do whatever they want, and
Well,
so
yeah,
that's
the-
why
the
it's just a
department
mess
heads
of.
they don't communicate. The departments itself don't communicate at
Yeah.
all. They're like I tried to get a minor in computer science, and so I asked the person at the art office of the art building,
Yeah.
where I can sign up for that. And she sent me to one building, which sent me to another one, which sent me to another building
Yeah.
before I and then I
The
did
English
that, yeah.
department is located in the in like one of the science buildings right now. Just letting you know.
When I for the 1 semester I was there, it took most of the semester to figure out who my my advisor even was, because I got sent from like person to person. I think this person's your advisor. No, it's this person. Then I finally find them, and they have nothing to do with any of the majors I had
It
done
says it
before.
on like the My Rick account online.
Well, maybe they got
Sometimes it's wrong.
maybe they also got a tiny bit more organized than they were when I went.
Only a tiny bit.
Yeah, only a
I
tiny
wonder if
bit.
I'm still on the website.
Was there pictures of you on the website?
Yeah, there was. There was like, meet my students. I was like, I haven't been there in like 3 years, so why am I still on the website? Should be meet my alumni now.
No, there's like some kids that I know. On like I see everyone like all over the place.
Yeah.
At Rick, yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if is it like an average size campus or like
Seems kind of smaller. I don't know.
Wait, in comparison to others
yeah.
campuses, like Rick, you're asking?
I mean, I know it's a lot smaller than URI, but like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because I just feel like I you can't avoid.
No, I'd say it's average size. I wouldn't say it's big. I wouldn't say it's small. I would say it's average.
Hmm.
All right. Enough about school. We're gonna
Yep.
go into our topic of the week.
Okay.
And since it is Mother's Day, I thought we might tell our favorite things about our mom or our favorite story. Share our favorite story about our mom.
Oh boy.
You didn't give us much time.
I know,
Yeah.
To think about.
How long have you lived with mom?
My whole life.
Almost 20 years? Okay, do you think you can think of like one thing that you like about her?
Nothing.
Oh boy.
She's going to be listening to this podcast.
No, she's not. We're
Yeah,
gonna
she is.
delete it. I'm gonna delete this file. So Gigi can't edit.
You used to be her favorite.
He still is on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Let's
Let's
see.
start with Megan. Do you think?
By the way, Megan is here. Alicia
Oh yeah.
doesn't
By the
know
way,
that.
she didn't get to introduce herself, but
Yes. We have Megan.
guest.
Guest.
We have
over on the
Megan
sidelines.
Trainer over here,
No, stop that.
All about the bass.
who's all about that bass.
Stop.
No treble.
What's her newer song that she's?
I thought she disappeared off the face of the earth. She's still here?
She has another hit.
What?
Like within the last 6 months, there was like another
Yeah.
hit.
I don't remember.
I don't remember the name of it though.
I don't pay attention to her.
Anyway, mothers,
So,
mother moments. That's this segment we'll call Mother Moments.
so I have one. I'll start off. So
Okay.
to give you guys time, because I know
Alright.
I just like threw it at you, even though it's Mother's Day, so you should be thinking about your mother. But that's just
Okay.
me.
Don't need to mom shame us, okay?
All right. So my mom and I have love to share. I don't know. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Clearly.
So I'm just gonna tell you a funny
Is that
story.
A sentence? Like.
A funny story that's like that, like me, like a bonding experience between me and mom, right? So one time, so mom, like ever since I was little, she just like takes me and Gigi on errands sometimes, just to like do like Walmart, Jabla or something, and like we'll usually get like candy or like I'll be like, Mom, like can I have this piece of candy? And she'll always say yes because she wants the candy. So like you can always bribe my mom into buying sweets because she accepts all sweets. Anyways, that's not the point of the story. So we're in Walmart, and this was like a couple of years ago, and this is when I wasn't vegetarian, and we see a rotisserie chicken, and my mom loves rotisserie chicken, and I did too. And so she was like, no, we gotta bring one home to Gigi and you and me so we can all eat one. And I was like, okay, Mom. So she's like asking me to pick out like the nicest like chicken on the stand, and I'm like, all right, this one's pretty good. So we buy it. We sit down in the car, and we both look at it and look at each other, and we're like, yeah. And we start eating it in the car with our hands. And we didn't have, like, any, like napkins or anything, so it was, like, really messy and like, awful. But I ate an entire almost the entire rotisserie chicken with my mom in her car outside of Walmart.
Mother moments.
Mother moments. One of my favorite moments, and the details of it are now blurry because it's been so many years, but one year on Christmas Eve, I helped her finish like wrapping up and putting gifts under the tree while everybody else was asleep. Since I was the oldest, well, still I am the oldest, I kind of always got the extra responsibility of helping out with that sort of stuff. So afterwards, we end up watching a scary movie, and this was pretty much my first scary movie, and it's killing me at the moment because I can't remember. It's either one of two movies, but either way, it's weird to watch with my mom. It was either Silence of the Lambs, which I'm pretty sure it was, or it was what's the Final Destination? And I can't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Silence of the Lambs. So it was Mom and I, Christmas Eve, watching Silence of the Lambs, my first scary movie. I was probably like 13 or 15. I was fairly young still. I don't know. It was kind of cool and fun. Because you got that like sort of feeling of like, oh, I can't normally get to do this, but
like,
you get to watch a rated R scary movie.
But when you watch scary movies,
I think you
with
guys
Mom,
shooed me out of the room too.
Probably.
I had to like sit outside and like.
Yeah.
listen, and
So mom's
that's
like,
it.
don't look at this, and like cover your face or like throw a blanket over you.
Mm.
And but like she would also like she likes watching scary movies with us because she'll like try to scare us in the middle of the movie.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, she like, and I've do this to Megan sometimes too, actually. And this totally comes from Mom, and I think we might have talked about this one on the podcast before, but whenever you would come upstairs in the old house, Mom would hide behind the stove, like in the front of the stove, but the way the stairs are situated, she'd be hidden on the side of the stove. So you come up from the basement, and you're kind of like lost in your own head. You're just doing laundry or just grabbing something from the basement, minding your own business, just a normal day, and you'd walk by, and she'd jump out at you. And she would do it so much that you knew she would be there most of the time. Like, I would actually even go and say she was there more often than she wasn't. And so you would even assume that she'd be there, and she'd still somehow scare you because you're like, I know she's going to be there. No, she's going to be there. And then she's there, and then you jump a foot. And then same thing with scary movies. Like, you'd be watching something, it'd be really intense. And she'd wait until she could tell just like body language that you were like really into it. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, she'd like grab your shoulders and give you like a little bit of a shake. At like the scary part that
That's what Alex did to me earlier today.
Yep. And I do it to Megan.
She'd be like, it's a monster, and she'll always say it's a monster.
She does that to the cat now.
Oh, like scares the cat, like
Yeah,
around the
she'll
corner.
jump out at the cat.
Yeah, I know, and the cat jumps 10 feet.
I think that's why she stopped doing it to us and just started doing it to the cat.
She's got to do it to
The
someone.
cat's really funny when she does it.
All right, Alex, your turn.
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna tell a story about how me and her. Okay, I wanted to say a nice thing, not a mean thing about Mom. So I was
None
like,
of
all
these
right.
are mean things.
Yeah, no,
Just
these
funny.
are like
I
fun
know,
anecdotes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like how like nice she's been, and how like it could be hard to be a mom, obviously,
Yeah.
and I remember one. It was like Christmas Eve. This was like 6 years ago. No, it had to have been more than that now. Like 8 years ago, when I like messed up my wrist, like I like fractured something. I had to get like a
Yeah,
cast.
I came home and nobody was home on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was Christmas Eve
It was
because
dark in
me
the house.
and Mom were at like the hospital, like waiting.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long, but you know how like hospital things like are. Like the actual thing takes like 5 minutes, and they have you in there for like 6 hours. But like yeah, so she had me and her. She just rushed us to the hospital, so that way I could get like an X-ray and a cast and everything. Christmas Eve.
Wasn't
but
it just
that's
'cause
like-
you like lost feeling in your hand for a second?
No. That was because I slipped the day before when we were filming a thing. I slipped on some loose rocks and I landed straight down on my wrist
Ooh.
and I like fractured something. And so I had to wear it. Was like I never wore a cast before. It was like the first time I had to wear a cast for a little while.
I do have to say, for the most part, you did a pretty good job of not being too injury prone as far as kids go.
Oh no, scrape by. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
always.
like a couple little things here and there,
Have
like the
any
wrist
of us
thing.
broken a bone?
Well, you're not supposed to say that sort of stuff out loud, because now one of us will.
Crap. Oh my gosh.
Way to go. Because I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Well, I was thinking it.
Are we
Yeah.
all
Were you
superstitious
thinking
here?
it?
Well, it's
I've never heard of that superstition.
no, it's like
Let's
a
not answer.
no, it's like a weird like
Let's
Final
just let the
Destination sort of
podcast
thing.
decide for
Like
us.
Is it like a knock on wood kind of thing?
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Don't.
Well, you gotta knock on wood now. There's wood around you.
All right, cool. Esther got us
She's
covered.
safe.
Yeah,
We're
good.
all safe.
We're
Actually.
good. We're good. Magic of the wood. All right. Yeah. So what about you, Juge?
I'm so bad at stories.
Oh wait, I got one. I got another
Oh.
one.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let-
You remember when like we were younger and Mom used to like take like our top lip and our bottom lip and she'd go like this and then like she's like just say something, like say a word, and then we'd try to say it and she'd do it like really quick and so like the word would come out like blah, 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 blah.
Oh boy. So
Oh.
I totally get my sense of humor from Mom.
Oh, God.
Because I do that to Megan as well.
I've done that to Claudia, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's too funny.
It is funny. It's like hours of entertainment, like right there. I'll be
think
like,
she
no,
was
do it
the-
to me, do it to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's so bad. Oh my god. Now we have to like find the lineage of that and figure out like why she, like who did it to her, or like who she did it with, so she knew like it was like a funny thing.
I don't know, cause she always loved doing those like little the little like torture things, like just the little stuff, like for instance, like we were saying before, the jumping out of nowhere to like scare you sort of stuff, or even when we were infants and she'd like blow on our faces to kind of like where the baby like draws back and like twitches its eye. It's like, what are you doing? What is this on my face? And she did it to all of us, so of course we did it to each
I
other.
love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
No, no,
We
no.
have a home video for just like kissing my face over and over again for like the longest time. It's like one of the longest home videos of just her doing that.
Yeah, and then you fall off the bed.
And I'm like staring wide-eyed, like, what is going on?
Can you think of something now? Is that your favorite moment with your mom?
Smothered in kisses.
Oh.
George, think of something.
I can't
You're
think of, like,
you're
a
like
specific
the
moment. I'm
the
really
best.
bad at that.
You're her favorite child, first of all.
Well, yeah, pretty much, because other than being a little angsty while you were a teenager, for the most part, you've been the easiest to handle out of the four of us.
I don't do anything.
Well, yeah,
You
that's
literally don't.
yeah. Well,
Since birth, you just sit there, eyes open, like, what's going on?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Esther's all just been like this flat line of always just kind of a
Bad.
pain, just always a pain.
Bad.
Bad to the bone.
Oh no.
That song
I'm
goes
trying to
and
think of
it-
a story for you, George.
When the day I was born, the
Banana.
doctors could tell right away I
Banana.
was bad to the bone.
Banana.
Okay. George, come on.
I thought you said you were
Don't
gonna
you
think
love
of
Mom?
something. I do. I'm trying.
Yeah, Juge.
I'm
Don't you love
so
Mom?
bad at
love Mom?
Don't you
thinking
love
of,
her?
Like specific stories.
What's your favorite thing about Mom? What do you like about her? Besides the fact that she takes care of you.
Don't look at me.
Poor Jude. She's
On
her
the
brain is
spot.
just shut down. No. I hear the gears burning up. I'm slipping.
It's too much pressure. I feel like I'm in like in an exam or something.
Dude, you're not. You're on a podcast, and we're talking about our mom.
But it feels like an exam.
Pencils down.
George, there's no
I feel
right
like I'm
and
gonna
wrong.
like fail.
There's no right or wrong answer. Okay.
No.
So Gigi doesn't remember.
I think we've broken Juji.
Gigi,
Uh,
Gigi, Gigi has no opinions towards Mom. just no opinion.
She has
No
all the
comment,
opinions.
right?
There's just it's all good memories. It's hard to select
Yeah.
just one.
you think of something. What is your favorite thing about Mom?
That you're gonna say you
I already
think of
told
a
you.
memory that I
Chicken.
have.
Chicken was your favorite thing
No,
about
a
Mom?
lot of it I don't know. She's really funny. And watching movies with her is hilarious. And she likes laughing, but also likes laughing when people laugh. It's so
So one time she ate a banana and she was too tired to throw it out or just place it on the coffee table, so she just threw it at the coffee table.
What
She threw
happened?
it- She just threw it at the coffee table and it missed. It just kind of landed on the floor.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, you tried.
What?
Wait.
This is the best mom story ever. Classic mom and her banana peels.
Wait a second.
Wait, she said you try?
No, I said you tried. But
Oh, you. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you tried.
Thought you both
Yeah.
had banana peels.
no.
She's like, now it's your turn.
She didn't get it in the car, but she just kind of she ate a banana.
So this is classic mom.
Threw the banana peel on the floor in the car. I'll get into it later.
I'll get it
I didn't
later.
know the mom had a thing
It's
with
not
banana
going
peels.
anywhere.
She has a secret thing with banana peels that only shows up when Juji's around.
Why are you only your mom?
She's like,
eats
maybe
bananas?
you'll slip on it when I get up.
She said to you? she got?
It was fun. We were watching a movie and
In the car?
No, the first time, the first thing.
It frustrates me that even till this day, mom still goes, ooh, if someone swears in a movie or something like that, she still thinks she needs to be motherly. It's like, Mom, come on. I'm like 24, 25 years old. Like, come on.
No.
Like,
Oh, or
Ooh,
the
bad
the
words.
classic. Oh, you don't say that though, right? Like you know
But
not to
no,
say
but when
that.
she says that, though, you know she's kidding.
Well, she wasn't
She'll
originally.
still say it, though.
She says it now, and she's kidding. When she used to say it, she wasn't. Oh, this movie has some bad words in it, but I don't want you saying them. I just want you to know.
Okay, Mom. I'm a film studies major. I've seen a lot worse.
Well, let's see. I don't think I didn't pick out a song this week for Ahoy. It's a pirate song.
All right,
So-
well, so we're skipping the pirate song.
Could you make up a song right now?
2008.
A pirate song about Mother's Day.
No, I can't think of a mom pirate song. You guys are the out of all four of us. How would you put that responsibility on my shoulders? The least musically inclined of the bunch.
Esther, make up a song about pirates on Mother's Day. I don't know,
A little ditty, and then we'll add some music to it.
or just like a rapper and a poem or something.
A haiku.
A haiku.
I don't know. I can't think of anything on the spot. But pirates and moms? What the heck?
Mom
Wait,
is
what kind
the
of...
bomb.
That was for.
I'm not good at
a
haikus.
haiku.
Maybe that's a haiku of a haiku.
Shave your mother with a rusty, right? Is there shave your mother?
Don't do that.
You asked. Okay, that's the first thing that came to my head.
What do you do with a drunken mother?
What do you do with a drunken mother? What do you do with a drunken mother?
God.
Early in the morning. Oh, that's not. That's.
Oh boy.
It's pretty bad.
Thanks to our two listeners. Our wonderful mom, happy Mother's Day.
We're
And
sorry.
we're sorry for this. And Uncle Richie.
And Megan. Megan's listening right now.
Yes, thank you, Megan, for sitting
listeners.
through this nonsense. Esther, want to tell the folks at home where they can find us and how they can send in listener questions and suggestions.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Gmail at
MySpace, Tumblr.
You might as well, because she
Great.
keeps putting Instagram in there, and I've never seen her do anything else with it.
Pirate Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
And then Twitter at Pirate Wednesday without the S because Elisha couldn't fit it in.
It wouldn't let me. I don't make the rules on Twitter.
And do you still tweet?
Yeah.
What kind of things do you tweet?
I tweet the same thing that you see on Facebook.
What?
So whatever my little joke is,
You have jokes on Facebook? I have never looked at your Facebook profile.
He posted one the other day. It was funny.
Pirate Wednesdays on Facebook. You have not
yeah,
looked at it?
there's
Oh,
37.
I
Wait,
don't
who
think I follow
photoshopped that
any of
photo?
I did.
You did the. The one of Esther is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
You haven't seen
wait,
the photo?
Esther, you haven't seen it.
I don't think I follow.
Oh, man.
Pirate
Look at
Wednesday.
that. Look at that now.
Oh, you're the worst.
Look at it now.
Don't even follow your own Facebook page.
What? Anyhow, folks, Jude, you want to sign us off?
Don't forget to